plants deserve more than a chemical diet. Give them the natural power of nature's living soil, packed with organic amendments and living microbes that feed the soil and fuel growth from the roots up. Stronger plants, bigger yields, better results. Shop natureslivingsoil.com and use code WWPGEN10 to get 10% off today. Nature's Living Soil. Feed the soil. Watch life flourish.
Good day, and welcome to WWP Genetics. We're thrilled to have you join us for another engaging and educational video. Today, I will be discussing exposing the dark side of cannabis. Cannabis is often marked as a natural remedy, a plant-based escape from stress, pain, or insomnia. But like any agricultural product, it's vulnerable to mold, pesticides, heavy metals, and human error. And that's where the trouble begins. When you smoke or consume, you bypass many of the filtering and digestive protections the body has. So what looks fine isn't always safe. Our mission today, pull back the curtain and show you what to watch for, what has gone wrong, and how to protect yourself. These threats don't disappear when the plant is harvested, dried, and processed. In fact, some of them become more dangerous when consumption involves inhaling or ingesting. One of the most dangerous threats lurking in cannabis is mold. Mold thrives in warm, damp, poorly ventilated environments, exactly the kind of conditions found in some grow rooms or storage containers. The worst part, you can't always see it. Strands like Aspergillus and Botrytis, also known as gray mold, can produce mycotoxins. These toxins don't burn off when you smoke or vape. They go straight into your lungs. For healthy individuals, the immediate effects might be mild, like coughing, nausea, or wheezing. But for people with compromised immune systems or lung conditions like asthma, the risks are far greater. Mold can also trigger allergic reactions, respiratory infections, and even fungal invasions of lung tissue. A recent study found fungi contaminants in cannabis pose serious health risks, particularly for vulnerable populations. You should always inspect your bud, check for off smells, odd textures, or visible debris. You should store your cannabis in cool, dry, properly ventilated settings with controlled humidity. If you're immunocompromised or have lung issues, consider avoiding inhaled flower of uncertain sources. Always ask your supplier or dispensary about storage conditions and lab results. Next, let's talk about pesticides and heavy metals. Cannabis growers often use chemicals to protect crops from pests, but if misused, these chemicals can linger in the final product. Smoking pesticide-laced cannabis, that's like smoking poison. Cannabis plants absorb minerals and metals from soil. Elements like lead, cadmium, and mercury can end up in cannabis plants and remain in processed forms. Over time, heavy metal exposure is linked to organ damage, neurological damage, and other serious health issues. Some standards for what contaminants must be tested vary widely from state to state. Some lab reports for mold and yeast seem irregular, just under regulatory limits, suggesting undertesting. In other words, just because a product is labeled lab tested doesn't guarantee it's free from harmful levels of contaminants. When you buy cannabis, treat it like consumable products. Ask for certificates, check for batch numbers, understand that natural doesn't mean safe. In October 2025, Arizona dispensaries pulled multiple cannabis products from shelves due to mold and lead contamination. I'm not going to say the brand, but the strands were Scrooge and Wedding Cake. They were pulled because they were contaminated with Aspergillus mold and lead. These weren't black market products. They were sold legally in licensed dispensaries, and yet they still pose a serious health risk. Recalls are becoming more common, but they're not always easy to understand. When a batch of product is found to exceed safety limits, regulatory agencies or manufacturers will pull it from shelves. This is a clear warning sign that something went wrong in the cultivation or processing chain. In one case, Curaleaf voluntarily recalled a medical marijuana flower product after stability testing revealed yeast and mold levels above acceptable limits, despite passing initial lab results. In the UK street market, one study found 90% of samples tested contained mold or yeast, 8% contained lead, and 2% contained E. coli or salmonella. Several states have flagged mold and pesticide contamination in legal dispensary cannabis, showing the regulated market isn't immune. Recalls happen because contamination issues can emerge later, and testing labs may miss certain contaminations or numbers are too low. Some recalls occur after consumers already purchased or possibly used the product. Pay attention to recall notices. If you bought cannabis recently, check the batch number. Even legal products aren't guaranteed perfect. If you've got product that's been recalled, stop using it immediately and return or dispose of it safely. Regulated markets are supposed to be safer, but testing labs vary in quality. Some are underfunded, others are overwhelmed, and even a few have been caught falsifying results. Plus, contamination can happen after testing, during packaging, transport, or storage. That means even a tested product isn't guaranteed to be safe. When using cannabis products, you always want to protect yourself. Purchase from reputable suppliers. Ask questions about cultivation, processing, and storage. Use websites like the Cannabis Safety Institute and check your state health departments. Ask for lab results or the Certificate of Analysis, better known as the COA. Check batch numbers. See where tests were performed. Store properly. Store your cannabis in cool, dry environments. Use airtight containers and avoid humid spots. Inspect the cannabis yourself. Look at it, smell, and feel. Avoid buds that are damp, overly spongy, the smell is off, or that have visible debris. When in doubt, throw it out. If you even suspect mold contamination, the risk isn't worth it. The more you know, the safer you are. Stay informed and stay skeptical. If you found this helpful, share it and drop a comment. Let's raise awareness about what we're actually inhaling or ingesting. The dark side of cannabis isn't about demonizing the plant, it's about being realistic. Whether for medical or recreational use, cannabis can be safe, but only if handled with care from seed to consumption. It's not enough to trust the label, you need to be aware of what could be hidden mold, toxins, or even heavy metals. The fact that recalls happen even in regulated markets. This means consumers must be vigilant. If you're having respiratory challenges or immune issues, the stakes are higher. Use this video as a wake up call. Your health is at stake. Ask questions, inspect products, and don't assume natural means safe. We hope you found today's video educational. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share to stay updated on our latest content. For more exciting insights, be sure to check out our brother channel at WWP Logistics. See you in the next video.